Hi everyone, so I thought I'd make a video about leaf propagation. So, I find, I use a couple of different methods, depending on how lazy I am. But if I'm organized, I'll get like a little seedling tray, put some soil in it, and I will just toss my leaves in here like this. Just toss them in. And then over time, they'll grow and they'll eventually root into the soil. So as you can see in this tray, all of these have healthy roots in the soil, but this one and this one. So these ones are quite plump because I've been watering this tray, so they're keeping hydrated. But because these two don't have any roots in the soil yet, they are dehydrated. But eventually they'll push some roots and then they'll be able to absorb the water like the rest of them. Then after a while, they will turn out like this. This desperately needs to be separated. These are pink lowy flower stem leaves propagation. Pink lowy propagates really well from flower stem leaves. You can also, these are from my variegated superb, I don't really know how to pronounce it. None of them turned out variegated, but hey, that's your luck with variegated plants and propagating by leaf. But yeah, they were all once a leaf. When I'm really lazy, I'll just grab a tray and I will just toss leaves in a tray. And then when I remember about them, like this poor thing here, it still doesn't have any roots, but what I would do with this, I just try and pluck that leaf off. Oops, pluck the baby off with it. And then I would they normally break up. If they're in a cluster like that, they will break up, but don't stress about it. You can just grab it and sit it on some soil and then let it be for a couple of weeks and then give it a water and it should have some roots. But yes, when mine grow roots just like this. So this is a variegated prima donna flower stem leaf. I have had luck with prima donna and growing babies from the flower stem leaves, but obviously not always that successful. But let's just pretend this is just your average succulent leaf. If it just grows roots, what I tend to do, it's kind of hard to do with one hand. Hold on. I just scrape the roots off and I make it start again. Sometimes it will continue to just grow roots and no baby, or sometimes it will actually grow a baby. So if you're having them just growing roots and you're really desperate and you really want to try it to grow a baby, honestly, just take the roots off. Just scrape them off just like that. Make it start again. And you never know your luck. So sometimes I've been successful with that method and sometimes I haven't. This method again over here, these are all leaf grown. This is an old pot bottom. It doesn't even have a drainage hole. I just tossed some soil in there and I was just tossing random leaves in here and they were growing. Then over here, this is my variegated baby fingers. So that's the original stem. As you can see, she's pushing babies on the stem. But all around her are her little leaf grown babies. That one there looks to have some promising variegation. This one looks like it's got no variegation. All the other ones are too small to even see if they're going to be variegated or not. But that's exciting. I have also, when I'm really lazy, I will honestly just grab the leaves, just sit them on this rack, and they might grow some babies, they might not, whatever. I even have like a tray over here that I've just tossed random leaves in. These ones are pretty fresh. So, oops, sorry if that focuses. This one's got roots and a baby. I don't know if you can see, but it's a bit hard. But yeah, honest to God, I just toss leaves anywhere and everywhere. Actually, over here, I've got some lovely rose babies growing. They're variegated leaves, so only time will tell if they're variegated or not. And then if we go down here, These are also leaf-grown babies. So this is ice cream. I think it's a Pachyvaria, sorry. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Tia wants to get involved. But yeah, the mother plant rotted, and now I have all of these babies, which is kind of crazy. But look at this one. This one is a Fred Ives variegated leaf baby. How awesome. It's really luck of the draw if you're going to get variegated babies from leaves. But anyway, another thing I wanted to say is I had another question on Instagram. How do you know when to water them? Well, basically, and how often? First of all, don't stress. So what you need to make sure is don't have them in the blaring sun. You probably won't get much success with that. My leaf babies are underneath 30% green shade cloth. When I water them, as I said at the start of the video, when your leaf babies have grown roots into the soil, that's when you can water them, and that's when they will start to grow. How often? Well, I don't even remember the last time I watered these guys, and they are still extremely plump. I think once you see maybe the mother leaf starting to wilt a little bit, because these babies, not only are they taking nutrients from the soil, they're still taking nutrients from the mother leaf. But when you water them, sometimes the mother leaf rehydrates. It's weird. But honestly, if it's that plant's growing season, wait until the soil dries out. Maybe let it dry out for like a good, I don't know, couple of days, a week, and then re-water it again. It's kind of hard to figure out like how often you water them, but just make sure you're letting them dry out. I feel like if you constantly keep watering them and they keep growing and they're not rotting, but I like to let mine dry out because I feel like it's giving them a stronger root system, like it's making the plant tougher, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's like true, but I feel like giving them a little bit of a drought helps the plant be a stronger plant rather than just like watering. It's getting it kind of easy, you know what I mean? You need to make them a little bit tough. What else do I need to say? When every now and again when I'm watering them, I'll give them like a seaweed solution because that also helps the plant become stronger. If we go over this way, I'm trying not to pan too fast because I know that can make some people dizzy. So I'm so sorry. I am trying to not do that. But I'll use this seaweed solution. We go to the back. I know it says on here somewhere where it helps the plant. You can pause the video, have a bit of a read of that. But yeah, this thing helps create stronger plants. I did have the green one, the green power feed, but I ran out and I just haven't repurchased any. And because like I'm quite slack with watering sometimes, I find my soil becomes, is it hydrophobic? Where the water runs off it. And this brings the soil back to life. It's fantastic. Anyway, let's go back to talking about leaf propagation again, because I got another thing to talk about. If you have your plants outside and you have sort of no coverage and you want to get some leaf babies off your succulent, gently break a leaf off if you can. And what I tend to do, I will stick the leaf underneath the mother plant so it's shaded, and the mother plant gives it some protection from all the elements, and then it grows babies. So there's that. And also, let me just grab this other example here. So when you do pluck your leaves, make sure you are plucking it with this node. I'm not sure if it's called a node, but I'm calling it a node. Make sure you pluck it with the node. I'll zoom in. See that? It's intact. This one here. P.S. Sorry about my nails. They are really gross. I have not been treating them well in this winter. Anywho, see the difference? See how this one on the right-hand side has been torn off, but yet the one on the left has been kind of snapped, if you kind of say, I guess. But this one here, that will not grow a baby. But listen, Every now and again, you might have one that grows a baby from this, but let's be honest, if it's growing a baby from a leaf like this, that plant is probably a weed. So yeah, when you are trying to delicately take your leaves off, I kind of do like a little bit of a wobbling motion. Let me just zoom out. I will do a bit of a wobbling motion. I'll go over to the plant I actually snapped these off, and I'll try and do a demonstration. It might be hard with one hand, but so we have this plant here. I'll lift up, have a look. You always want to go from the bottom as well, and try and grab a healthy leaf. Sometimes the leaves on the bottom, the plant may be absorbing the leaf or whatever. Just get rid of those yucky leaves and get yourself a nice, healthy leaf. I'm just going to swap hands. It's hard to do with one hand, but this one's actually a pretty good one. But you kind of wobble and pull slightly. See? I did that wrong. Hold on. See? I tore that. That's not good. So that's a good example of what not to do. It's so hard to do with like one hand. I'm going to get closer. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I can hear a ticking noise. It's coming from our pool box and it's really distracting me. Let's have a look. There we go. I don't know if you heard that nice snap, but that's much better. Where's that other one? I think I dropped it on the ground. I don't know what I did with it, but that's what you want. It makes like a nice snap noise when it's pulling off the stem. I hope that helps people with leaf propagating, because it is quite fun. At one stage, I had this whole section filled with these trays, and if you're wondering how I get these trays, I go to the recycle pot bins I don't know if Bunnings has them. I know Flower Power certainly has them. Your local nursery might have them, where people just dump their unwanted pots in the recycling pot bins. I dig through them, and normally people go and buy like seedlings and stuff, and then they don't know what to do with these, so they bring them back and they recycle them, and then people like me dig through there and take them home. So that's how I end up with a lot of these pots. I don't buy them. Girl, I do not buy them. I dig through the bins like a little bin gremlin. But yeah, so I think that's I think that's everything that I need to talk about leaf propagating. Yeah, so if you got any questions, leave them below and I'll try and answer them as best as I can. But yeah, on that note, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.